The Amateurs, originally called The Moguls, has a pretty amazing cast. This was released in 2005. It's written and directed by Michael Traeger, and we have a cast including, to name just a few, Jeff Bridges, Ted Danson, Stephen Weber, Brad Garrett's in it. Really solid cast. I have to say, I became aware of this because of Ted Danson, and the description sounded interesting. It could go either way for me, I thought, and I'll talk about my views in a moment. But then I saw the cast and thought, even if I don't care for the narrative, very excited about the cast. And it's about a group of guys who get together to make an adult film. And as the title suggests, they are amateurs at this. It's a new project, and they want to make a successful adult film that's a little bit different. And I won't say too much about it. I won't go into too much of the background. But I was keen to see how this would work. But at the same time, I don't care about the adult film industry. So I love films about filmmaking. I think they're usually very exciting. But films about the adult sex industry, well, I don't think the word adult there was necessary. The adult film industry, the sex industry, I don't really care. So I was kind of in the middle with how I'd find this as a narrative. And for the most part, I did enjoy it. There were elements that I didn't really care for. There were conversations the characters had that I maybe wasn't as bothered about. But at the same time, there was enough in there, enough in the narrative itself to keep me interested. I was keen to see how things would end up. The development of the narrative is quite fascinating as they kind of progress with this. And then we have the cast and the characters, and I love them. And I know I'm slightly biased, very biased, because I love Ted Danson, but I feel like his character, Moose, was definitely my favourite. Yeah, probably partly because of Ted Danson, but I also feel like he has a really interesting journey, and he reveals some things about his character at a certain point, and I won't say anything else about it, but it's really well done, and I thought it was very effective. So I'll say no more than that about Moose, and I won't say anything else about the film in terms of the narrative, but I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't adore every second of it, but as I said, I was kind of in the middle with how I might have found this. And I'm pleased to say, for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It's a good story. It's a little bit funny, and the characters are very well written. The performances are great. It's one that I'm pleased to have watched. There are films where I watch them because somebody is in them, Ted Danson in this case, and I will discover hidden gems. And absolutely, this is one of those times. I don't think, in fact, I know that I probably never would have watched this based on the description alone. As I said, I don't care about the adult film industry, so it probably wouldn't have appealed to me on paper. But thanks to Ted Danson, I gave it a watch, and I'd rather enjoyed it. If it sounds like something that might appeal to you, if you're interested in any of the cast, give it a go. It's a pretty decent film. It is called The Amateurs, originally called The Moguls, but in the UK, it was released as The Moguls, and I think it's currently called The Moguls on Amazon Prime, and it's worth it. Definitely a good film, great characters, decent story, and one that I'm happy to recommend.